But that's just my opinion. And I'll get into that more later with the 4 kids part of this rant. Not totally translated properly is another bad point that I put on here. And I've kind of already talked about that. Where it's not where because they've changed it to make sense in America, it's not translated properly. But think about that in the same concept of Japanese text of the subtitles. They may be closer, but they're not translated properly either. Especially if they make sense to us. If they're not like, or if they're not like as bad as all your bases are belong to us, then that means that it's not exactly what the Japanese. It's not word for word translation. Meaning words will be lost, sentences will be messed up, stuff like that. No matter which one, that's the truth. And that's that about that. Anyway, the whole reason I'm making this rant in general is just about 4 kids. And my opinion is that 4 kids does not suck. Is not a bad thing. My whole thing about 4 kids is I'm actually here defending them. Why? One, they're bringing the anime to America in general. Like, how many of you people that have actually watched the Japanese versions of Sonic X or Kirby or a couple of the other shows actually watched those Japanese versions based on watching the original on 4 kids? Meaning that you're complaining about something that brought you to the better version of the show, in your opinion. In your all's opinion. The people that like the subs for better. You're yelling at people that brought you to something. Or that got your attention to make you want to check out something. And then a lot of people will yell at at 4 kids for bringing the shows to their attention. But I don't get it. I really don't. Stuff like that bothers me. And another thing is, the reason that they complain about 4 kids a lot, that I've realized, is just about the voice acting in general. It's nothing about the quality of the show, because the show was made in Japan and stuff like that. The show was made in Japan, so all that's fine. That's the perfect part of it. I don't know. But truly though, no one that I've realized, no one really complained about the original Pokemon or the original Yu-Gi-Oh show. Especially if they're fans of those things. 4 kids made both those shows. And I watched both those shows. I liked both those shows. The original, like the normal stuff, like all the stuff, all the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that actually had Yu-Gi-Oh in it, or Yu-Gi in it. Yeah, that's the stuff I'm talking about. And the Pokemon stuff that was to the islands after the first set, because after that I couldn't get into it because it took them a year to get to the dang gyms. And Pokemon in general kind of annoy me, because all those games are just going from gym to gym, collect badges, do a couple of different missions, do have a couple of different features, but not really add much to the experience, and not really add much to the main objective, so to say. But that might be a different rant entirely. That's for a different day. But truly though, if you're a fan of the show, there was no real reason to. no real fan really actually complained about it, but people that weren't fans of the show or the games or stuff like that, like the nostalgic critic, they have a good point too. That the people that would actually watch the theatrical release, there should have been some explanation of what the heck was going on, just in case people did wander in that did not know what was going on. One thing I can really think of is the little intro at the beginning of that was supposed to be that, but that is more of an error on the Japanese part. It has nothing to do with 4Kids part of dubbing it or whatever. It had nothing to do with that. This is the big part that I want to get to. And this is like something I've heard like so many complaints about. Like, they've changed it. They've changed the animation. Da 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 da. The English version is so much worse because 4Kids butchered it. Because there was so much more gore in the Japanese version. There was so much more this. There was other stuff. But here's the thing. 4Kids is a studio that makes shows for kids, not for 20-year-olds or older. That's not their intended audience. Their intended audience are the kids 10 and under, who actually wake up in Saturday morning, actually have time to watch morning cartoons, and don't have a real life to actually, you know what I'm saying? Just people that actually have time to watch morning cartoons like that. That is the intended audience. Not people that are 20 years old or older. And most of the people I've seen complain about this stuff are about that age. Maybe a little younger. I don't know their exact age. But they all sound about 20 or older. I myself am 19 years old. And if I did complain about it, I have really no boundaries to, because I'm not the intended audience. I mean, all the parodies I've seen really, but back to my point, is stuff like gore, violence, maybe really deep emotional death scenes, can't really be shown. And other things like, from what I've seen in the Wikipedia thing, is they have this picture of a dude that was, that originally in the Japanese version was black, but for the 4Kids version was white. Basically for lawsuit reasons and because of racism. So, basically, the only reason they do that, they change it, is so that it can get on the air at all. If they don't change it, if they leave it the way it is and say 4Kids on it and put it in the morning where kids watch TV, some kids at least, there'd be a huge mass of parents going at it, huge mass of bad things happening, stuff like that. So really, that's why they don't. That's why everything's changed. It's just because parents, rights activists, people like that, yeah, people like that would get really, really mad and really just mad in general. But that's really it. In conclusion, both subs and dubs have their problems. And for the most part, 4Kids, yes, I agree that some points that people have said are true, and I agree with. Maybe not true, but I agree with. Like, some that you would have to. It's more of a, if you really like the show, then you should experience both parts to really experience the difference between one or the other. Because really, all this stuff that people say are pretty much thrown out the window if you have not seen the original English or the original Japanese version or the English version. If you haven't seen either one and watched the other, everything's invalid, more or less. And for that, and with that, I'm done here. So, see you on my next video. If you like this video, subscribe. Which I'll probably just take this part out and put a big little thing that says, if you like this video, please subscribe in the title, in the credits. Blech. This is Donaldv2, signing off. Bye.